Okay, now I have changed camera as well as mic. So hopefully we will be through now. Technological problem. Okay, few already joined. Few are joining. Okay, few already joined. You are joining. Few already joined. Okay, now it seems the voice is clear, and let us wait for. I have just sent a message through WhatsApp also. So let us wait for 2-3 minutes and then begin. Okay, echo after my talk. So maybe I will talk a little slowly. Okay, let us begin. First of all, let me thank you all for joining today for this YouTube live session. This is first time I'm doing. So because it is first time, all possible problems will come. So the first problem of audio was there. So hopefully we have resolved it now. But then I have to compromise on the quality of video. That is fine. Secondly, I would like to thank you for joining our question a day activity on which we did on 28th of May. It was immediately after the first lockdown was declared, and we thought that because we have a lot of content available, we use that content for students who have plenty of time. In a hurry, we have decided to have 4 questions every day, and we conducted that activity for 29 days. I have received many feedbacks immediately after we began that time, 28th of March, saying that these questions are very difficult and this particular syllabus is not discussed in school in their curriculum, and therefore we are not finding it interesting. So immediately after 5 days, I have decided to have 4 more questions. So practically it was an activity of last 25 days was 8 questions a day and 8 answers next day. Hopefully few of you have enjoyed it. The easy questions were really easy and the difficult ones were really difficult. So those who like to solve easy ones, they must have enjoyed solving those 4 questions, and those who like solving difficult ones should have enjoyed the difficult ones. However, when I thought back, because we have got about 1800 registrations in 3 to 4 days, as it was joining the group using the link, it was easy, and therefore many people from different places, not only in Pune, many people from different places joined that WhatsApp group. So we were happy, saying that array, many students are interested in doing this. But by the end of that activity, we realized that very few really meticulously followed it and really solved maybe all the problems, and maybe those problems were bit difficult for the students who have just completed 6th standard. Maybe they were doable for those who have completed 7th standard, but that was the feedback that I have received. And then we thought over it, what should we do? Normally, that particular program of 116 questions is for 116 days. About 6 years before, when we started this activity, the idea was, if a student consistently solves one promising question every day, then slowly, inch by inch, his ability to look at those difficult questions, solving skills improve substantially. And now with last 5 years experience, the first batch which I started with this, they are in the 12th standard now. And based on the experience of last 5 years, it is an amazing activity for students in 7th standard, and it turns out to be very interesting activity for parents also. My personal experience 5 years before and now is that the quantity of students who are complaining that these questions are very, very difficult has grown 2 times or 3 times compared to the when it was started 5 years before. What does it mean? It means the input quality of the concepts being taught in school is getting diluted day by day, and students are not that strong at this age. They might not be exposed to those concepts in school, and therefore these questions, the content is exactly same, the questions sequence is also exactly same, but these days we find that those questions are very difficult. So when we thought about it, then we realized that, now let me go through the points that I want to discuss step by step. That first of all, this is the right age. When the student is in 7th standard, it is the right age to really subject him for the difficult questions. Till the time he is in 6th standard, he is really a kid and he doesn't know the importance of all these things. So 7th standard maybe is the beginning. You start warming up and check whether what is going to be the exact interest of your child. Do not, I would strongly suggest, do not depend on the school curriculum, be it SSC board, be it ICSC board, be it CBSE board or any board for that matter. When the designers of the syllabus, they sit in place, what do they design? They design it for the masses. The class strength is at least 50 in each school, and there are many divisions. So you have really a heterogeneous group of students, maybe in 7th standard, maybe in 8th standard, in different schools. And the book is same. The book is meant for masses. It is not meant for the best students, and it is not best meant for above average students also, if I would say. Therefore, if we solely depend on the curriculum which is designed for our students by government, maybe CBSE, NCRT books, whatever books you are referring to, but if we solely depend on that, then we will be in trouble at the end of 10th standard. When the student is in 11th standard, and if he is aiming for a competitive exam like IIT JEE or mains for that matter, or NEET, or any competitive exam, all competitive exams are to be given in 11th and 12th, and you will observe that the syllabus for those competitive exams, it is not decreased. IIT syllabus in last 40 years has maybe doubled or 3 times than the first IIT exam which was conducted. So they are not diluting their syllabus. In fact, they are making it big, wide, as well as deep. So student, when he enters 11th standard, he will start facing problems. And therefore, the parents who are really thinking about their child at this age, 7th standard, this is the right time. You need to figure out what is the inclination of your child. And for that, you need to do different experiments. I mean, school is one part of his career. The student might be good in music, so you need to try out whether he is good in music or not by allowing him to demonstrate his skill in your house. You encourage him to sing, or maybe use some instrument or play some instrument, something like that. And if you find that he is good, you find out somebody who will coach him in that and will make him better and better in that. If he is good in sports, say for example tennis or badminton, maybe you identify his skills or whatever naturally he has got, and get a good coach and start his activities of at this age. So if you recognize what are his skills, now that is why this particular question a day is going to be important to you, to figure out whether the student is going to be eventually a science student or not, whether he likes mathematics or not, whether he is a logical thinker or not. So the way we go to a tennis court, the way we go to tabla teacher or a harmonium teacher or a guitar teacher, this activity question a day is going to be useful to you to figure out what are his interests as far as. So this is the best way to figure out whether your child likes mathematics or not. Now, so far he has been trained by the school teachers as far as mathematics is concerned. And many schools have their maths teachers. They are not maths degree holders. I mean, they are not BSc with maths or MSc with maths. Majority of them are science, maybe botany, zoology, or any other subject, and majority of them are afraid of maths, opted for maths in their BSc degree or MSc degree. So, but then because government, as per government rules, if they are BSc BEd or MSc BEd, they are allowed to teach mathematics in school. And that is the biggest problem in these schools these days. The teacher himself is not comfortable with mathematics. The teacher who has run away from the mathematics in his college days or something like that, he cannot develop interest in mathematics. Therefore, we need to find out a teacher who can develop interest in mathematics. This activity will help you to do that. And these are some basic questions. If you have learned something in your school days, you as a parent will be able to learn all these problems independently yourself. And if student is not solving it or not finding them interesting, it is systematically you solve those problems and try to encourage student to solve them, or give him the hint or something or the other. So if you just keep doing this for first 50 days, I am sure from 51st day to 116th day, student is going to wait for the question. I have got several feedbacks from the students in last 5 years saying that practically all of us wait for the question every day in the morning. Not only in Pune, Maharashtra, but from all over the places I have got this feedback. So the responsibility of the parent at this stage is do not depend on the curriculum that the student belongs to. You have to find out his interests and start feeding him whatever he is interested in. And if he happens to be interested in science, then this is the right material. That is what I want to bring it to your notice. This material, these questions are extremely good, and if student finds them interesting at so early stage, he will never have any problem in solving a difficult question. He will never be afraid of doing any difficult question, and he will be behind us to continue this activity for more than 116 days eventually. So that is most important. So my suggestion number one is, if those topics, I have listed those topics, total there are 10 topics. About 35 questions are on geometry, 25 questions are on algebra, some questions are on divisibility, on indices, handling surds, etc. And therefore, if those concepts are not there with the student, either you learn and you teach them, or you find out a good teacher in your locality so that these concepts specifically are taught, or maybe I can provide you the list of those concepts. You figure out on the net, there are several aids available so that you can independently train your student with those concepts, and it is not going to require much time, nor they are going to be very difficult. So if you take little bit of interest, you will be able to teach them. And then maybe what one improvement which I would like to do in this is, right now those questions come randomly, so I would like to give those questions topic wise. Says 35 geometry questions will come one after the other, 35 days. 25 algebra questions will come one after the other, 25 days. So randomness I will eliminate from this scheme, so that student, if he starts learning geometry, he'll get continuous geometry question. And then this is going to prove out, this is going to be very, very good activity for your child. That is what has happened in past, and I was surprised why it was not happening this time, because it did not work, because 4 days 4 questions a day was a problem. If only one question, if a student is encouraged to solve only one question one day, in 116 days you will find the difference. That is what is my idea behind this. It is just like an apple a day keeps doctor away. It is exactly on that principle. Just solve one question, one good question, and then if you have a group of friends who are connected to this group, they will discuss this problem in school, they will discuss in their whatever interval they have in school, and then throughout the day this problem is there with you. Next day you will be eager to see my solution and what is the new problem. So there is a lot of fun in this activity. I am going to begin the same questions, the order is going to be different, and I will announce which topic, what are the concepts that are required to be known by the students. I will list those concepts. You figure out from the net, from the books. As a parent, you need to teach them those concepts. Suppose half base into height is area of triangle. You give them the property, give them this property. Sum of the exterior angles of any polygon is 360. You give them this property. So maybe if possible, I will list down which topics students are required to know before solving these 25 questions or 30. If I can list, if I can make a small video out of that, I would definitely put it on the group, and then using only those concepts, students should be able to solve those problems, and still you will find that they are different. Now, in school, what happens is they will give you one formula, PNR upon 100 is equal to simple interest. And they will ask the student to solve maybe 20, 25, 50 problems in their exercises. And there are four unknowns: simple interest, P means principal, N means time, and R means rate of interest. One after the other, they will just keep one unknown and ask student to solve many problems. That is not going to work. PNR upon 100, if student is good, he should solve only four problems. And if suppose student wants to practice or remember that particular formula, then he should solve maybe 10, 12 problems, that's all. And then he should look for problems where PNR upon 100 is simple interest is required to be used, but the problem is not straightforward. All our problems are not straightforward. They require some application. They require some thinking. And that is what going to make student little different than others. And if we can inculcate this ability into the student, that he starts thinking, he becomes a thinking student, then we have achieved it. There is no difficult or easy problem in this world. I mean, till the problem is solved, it is very difficult. And we take this example of corona. The problem is not yet solved, therefore it is extremely difficult problem. But the moment somebody finds the solution, it is not a big deal. It is just like yet another virus, like other many viruses that we have. So this is the point of view of design of that question a day activity, and it works very well. After 160 days, also we have a lot of material for entire year. 360 days material is available, and those who have completed that 360 days, the beginning first day of its standard itself, they are going to be different students than others. That is my promise. I mean, it is going to happen. It has happened to many students. Okay, so I'll just run through whether I have addressed each and every point or not, and then I will get back to you. Okay, so this is one activity which we perform every year for 7th standard students. And once the students, now 15th of June, what we are going to begin now is 15th of June, again, a fresh QID will start with the same old questions. If you have preserved them, that is fine. But if you have not preserved them, just don't look at them. Don't look at the solutions now. Just take one question every day and be with that question. Make sure that your student, your child is finding that interesting and it's solving and ready with the answer next day. So 15th of June, we will start this QID activity all over again with same 116 questions, only reorder. Now, what is the aim of doing this? Now, aim of doing this is basically, if we are looking for some very good training in 8th standard, training which is much more than what is given in the school. I mean, Sachin Tendulkar, if he was in school, would not become a Sachin Tendulkar, because he has to study, he has to attend all the lectures, he has to attend all the exam. He was Sachin Tendulkar because he got that freedom of playing all possible number of hours. That is why he became Sachin Tendulkar. So if we can realize in such an early age that my child is really good in maths and science, then immediately we will have to put him on a faster track, better training. And that is where M Prakash Institute comes into the picture. M Prakash Institute is one institute maybe in this country which purely focuses on the betterment of the student. And that is what is our aim. And therefore, the vision statement of M Prakash Institute is provide best training for the best students. I mean, provide best training is everybody's tagline, but not for best students. And therefore, our selection tests at our institute are really very tough. And unless and until student clears that test, we do not admit any student. So it is meant for the best students, because there has to be at least one institute who takes care of good students in the society, because those are the ones who are going to actually change the world. So earlier the better, if we identify them and deal with them. One cannot say that I am now going to become a scientist when he is 25. If somebody is going to become a scientist, the process must start at this age, 7th standard or 8th standard. He starts finding out something new, what is happening in the nature, and that particular process eventually will make a scientist at the age of 25. It is not suddenly going to happen. If we just follow the curriculum, if we follow the syllabus, out of box thinking is not available, and it is not going to be helping our students. So figuring out the best trainer for the interest of your child at its standard is important. If he is a good sportsman, might be find out the best trainer in sports in your society or in your locality or in your city and start dealing with him. If he is good in maths and science, maybe M Prakash Institute is the best place to be, because there we have limited number of students and we really teach them quality content. Prakash sir himself has spent more than 40 years of his life in education of student, thinking about education of student, betterment of student, and he never thought of making money. I mean, we run the institute, we have to have some inflow of money so as to run the institute. That is one part of it, but that is not our priority, that is not our first preference. Our first priority is the education. I mean, best student, deserving student must get best education. That is our first agenda, followed by maybe we have to charge the fees for the service that we render. So these are the two things. So, and once the student is selected in M Prakash Institute in 8th standard up to 12th standard, if he is performing well, if he is working hard, up to 12th standard, you need not have to worry. And by the time he is a 12th standard passed out student from institute, his personality is made and he is one of the best students, eventually doing good in engineering or whatever field he eventually chooses to do. So that is all about what I had in my mind. What about question a day activity? and how it is going to be important. But because in hurry we have done it, 4 questions a day, it was not good decision at that time. But now we will be doing it very systematically. And one responsibility of that activity is with the students. If a student get to know about this activity, it is the responsibility of student and parent to pass on the information about this activity to 3 to 4 new students. Last year with this method, we have got 1200 students who were fortunate to get this question a day activity, and that is a big number. Just by passing the message, you get around 1200. Last year we got 1200 students connected to us through this activity. 15 June is first batch. Maybe after 15 days we will have second batch, and there will be many batches, one after the other, depending upon how that activity is being taken. So I suppose I have addressed majority of the issues that were there in my mind, and those were there in students or parents' minds. So just to sum up, couple of things for the parents. Parents are going to be very important person in decision making of your child's career. 7th standard student cannot make decision right now. You need to explore all the possibilities of your finding out skills of your child at this age. If he happens to be good in science and maths, then this is the right place. Question a day is the right beginning, followed by Prakash Institute in 8th standard. So that is the mantra that I wanted to give through this. Hopefully this will work, and majority of your questions get sorted out. So let me go through a couple of questions now. What about in 9th standard? Okay, now if it was not started in 7th standard, at what time you start it is, I mean, from that point you will get benefited. If a student is 9th standard, you start doing this activity. If you find it easy, very good. You go through our website, our institute, there are many question papers promising no repeated questions in any questions papers, and you will get benefited. So is this activity meant for 7th? So it is meant for 7th as well as 8th. 8th students should find it more comfortable doing this activity because few concepts are already discussed in school. Okay, and on the top of that, if student doesn't find it interesting, you have not lost anything. I mean, that is okay. It is not compulsory that every student must like maths, not necessary. So this is one very good test that you have to figure out what are the likings of. I remember one Marwadi parent mentioned this to us at the time of 8th standard admissions. ही टोल्ड सर आपका ये 8, 9, 10 का जो प्रोग्राम है वो काफी अच्छा है, क्योंकि 8, 9, 10 में हमें पता चल जाता है कि स्टूडेंट इंजीनियरिंग वाला लड़का है या फिर उसका इंटरेस्ट और कहीं है, और हमें ज्यादा फीस देनी नहीं पड़ती. और फाउंडेशन फीस आर मच लेस कंपेयर्ड टू IIT JEE 11th and 12th standard fees. So if you do not know by 10th standard also what is the liking of your student and what eventually wants to be, then as a majority of the students or friends are going for engineering or CET or mains, you will put your child to one of the institutes, and the fees are in the range of 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh for 2-year course. So, and after 6 months, if you realize that he is not meant for engineering, he is not an engineering material, then all that money is gone. So it is very expensive at 11th standard, and it is practically no expense at this stage. So this activity, you advocate for this activity, spend this link of YouTube video which is going to get uploaded eventually after this, and send it to all your friends. Let everybody enjoy this activity, and it is going to be benefited to all students, that you are benefited as well as your friends are benefited. That is what is the approach that we need to take, and expand this activity as much as we can. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. By the end of this, we have got about 73 participants, and this was really a nice experience, although it is only one way. Normally we are used to teaching, and it is always our discussions are always dependent on the response that we get, and I really cannot go through all the chat or the remarks that you have produced, but they are interesting, and it might consume a lot of time to go through and answer them. But I hope you have understood uh, the meaning, the intensity, and the purpose of this particular online live program. I wanted to convey the importance of QAD, question a day, and it is only one question a day. And hopefully, you will get benefited. You have my number. If you have any specific questions, you can send me the WhatsApp message, decide the time, and maybe if required, you can call me. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. I'm ending this meeting now, and uh, let us see what happens eventually. If required, we can come once again live to address some new parents, new customers. Okay. Thank you. All the best. I am ending it, and thank you. Thank you very much. All of you are saying thank you. Thank you. All